Russell, you've got an exhibition, or you're finishing off a project at the moment, Lines of Resistance, about Ukraine. Do you want to
Yes.
tell us a bit more about it?
So it's since the beginning of the Ukrainian invasion, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. I got invited right at the beginning by a Polish friend of mine, Lucas from Gloucester, who was involved with the aid work that was going from Gloucester. And his family are right on the border of, don't ask me to pronounce where it is, but it's right on the Ukrainian border where his family live. And his brother was coordinating a lot of the aid into Ukraine from the depot on his side of their side of the border. And he said to me, did I want to go along and see where the first lorry that was of aid from Gloucester was going? And so, yeah, why not? I'll go and have a look. And so the first time that I went there, we saw the setup of what was going on. It was quite harrowing to see the refugees all at the train stations and women and children. You know, it was quite surreal, quite difficult. We didn't spend much time in Ukraine. We went in one night. He got asked to translate for an American medical team that was set up just across the border, who were trying to get further into Ukraine. So we went in. We just went in for the evening. I tagged along, and he did his job, and we went back. So I didn't go into Ukraine much the first time. But there was just something about everything that was going on that sort of got my attention, I suppose, and lots of other people. And I kept going back. So, and then further and further into Ukraine.
What have you been doing on your return trips, Russ?
Everything from just meeting different people. So everything from.
But have you been taking aid out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I drove an ambulance once with another guy that was donated. I've taken aid over and stuff like that. I'm not going to say that I've done huge amounts humanitarian work and whatever, because I haven't. I've tagged along and essentially observed that people, what they're doing. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Obviously I was going to do something, painting but I didn't know what I was going to do. I filmed everything that I was doing, but I wasn't sure. And I just kept going back, meeting different people. I met a bunch of artists in Kharkiv that had set up this artist sort of community, because in Kharkiv especially, a lot of refugees left because it's not far from the Russian border, and also part of it was overtaken by the Russians at the beginning. Lots of artists and musicians and what have you left, the ones with any money left. So you got this huge community of poor, quite young artists trying to do stuff. They're the ones that are sort of staying because they can't afford to go anywhere else. And they've done some amazing things. So they introduced me to other people, some artists who were doing work in the subways. When the sirens would go off, the air raids, they would take, lots of children would go down into the metro, and you'd have artists doing work with them to try and take their minds off why they were there. And they produced some amazing artwork in the Kharkiv metro of sort of 10, 15 foot tall figures, and it's absolutely amazing stuff. So I met aid workers, soldiers, including English soldiers who were over there fighting, who'd been injured. I had one trip where lots of the people that I got to know had known Chris Parry, who was the guy from Cornwall who lived in Cheltenham, and he got assassinated by the Russians. And I spoke at his, I went to it wasn't his funeral, but it was his, they had what do you call it?
A memorial.
A memorial for him in Kyiv. And one of the guys that I was with had known him very well and worked with him right from the beginning, and had written this piece about him, and he was too upset to read it. So I read it out for him, and then got contacted by his family, and I painted a picture of Chris that went down to Truro Cathedral and is now at his old school down in Truro. But I got very friendly with his dad, Rob, and went over with him as well on one trip where we travelled around trying to sort of go in the footsteps of where Chris had been. We didn't obviously go right to some of the really bad areas that Chris had been, but we travelled all around the sort of Russian border, south of Kharkiv down towards Kupiansk, which is quite rough. Very, very, again, quite disturbing. But it was an amazing trip, and it was quite an honour to sort of spend it with him. And I introduced him to a few people who he hadn't been in touch with, who'd known Chris. We met one of the soldiers who'd gone off to look for Chris when he first got reported missing, because he was English. So this guy had gone looking for him, and I think he found quite a lot of information on that trip that he didn't know before. And strange little things, like we were sat in a hotel having breakfast one morning, and I was waiting for a call from an aid worker who'd worked with Chris a lot, and she rang me, and she said, "Oh, where you are, I'll come round." And I said where she was, and she went quiet, and she said, "Well, that's the last place that Chris was before he went off and got killed." So it really, some really strange sort of surreal things that happened, and
your
I'll never forget it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Your experiences out there have obviously had a massive impact on you personally.
Yeah.
And then that leads us into what you're going to be doing with the Lines of Resistance exhibition that we've got coming up through the month of August here at the Shirt Factory. So do you want to just explain a bit to us about what you're going to be doing? And we obviously, key to this is raising funds for this exhibition that you're going to be finishing here to go on tour around the Ukraine.
Yeah. So when I finally decided what I wanted to do, I thought, rather than make it just a series of portraits of people that I'd met, I wanted to sort of try and tell the story of, because Gloucester, as you guys know, Gloucester gets a bad rap in many ways. But I think, as we keep hearing, it's the good thing about Gloucester is its people and the things that happen here. And I think
there's
that was a
big connection. A lot of Ukrainian population.
A lot of Ukrainians live here.
So we've got the Ukrainian church over the road here from the Shirt Factory.
Yeah.
So I think that the geographical area that serves for that community is huge. So they come and use the car park here on a Sunday.
Yeah.
For their big events, it's full.
Yeah, and they've got the association by the park, which is they've had a big Ukrainian community here since the Second World War. Yeah. So I then thought, well, actually, Gloucester as a city has come together and done a huge amount to help or do what they've sent aid. They've supported people. We had a lot of Ukrainians refugees who came here. That probably is because there was a lot of Ukrainians in this community anyway. And so I thought, well, I'll see if I can just tell the story of what happened, of the people involved, of the people that I've met when I went there, the Ukrainians in this community. So I'm in the process of painting. It's going to be about 60 meters long. It might be a bit longer. It probably will be a bit longer, of 1 meter by 1.5 meter panels. Each panel is essentially a portrait of somebody, and then they all fit. That all fits together to tell the story of what has gone on over the last 5 years between Gloucester and Ukraine. It tells the story of the Ukrainians here who have been the women that have been making camouflage nets ever since the beginning of the war. And they've sent, so it's an amazing story.
Where's that?
Yeah.
Where's that happening?
That's at the association. A lot of them are, go to the church on a Sunday, but they, it's a bunch of women who have lived there for years, who just wanted to do something, and they go 2 or 3 times a week, sit there, and they make these nets, and they've become really adept at it. They you know, it's a science. The colours that are needed, the different times of the year, the density of how they're doing. It's amazing
because the foliage is
yeah
changing all the time. So
exactly, and then in winter, especially the lots of Ukraine is covered in snow, so it's the different textures, different colours that they need. It's amazing. But I think also it's much deeper than that as well. They feel it gives them a connection with Ukraine about what's going on. They can feel that they're helping. Most of them will have had some tragedy. I won't name names, but there's one who's lost husband and son.
Really?
There are, everybody there knows somebody who's sadly passed because of the war.
It really brings it home that it is a conflict on our doorstep.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you can hop in a car in Gloucester and drive there.
Yeah.
I remember the scenes that you were talking about at the start of our conversation about those railway stations, and at the time it was all at the top of the news agenda.
Yeah.
And as these conflicts draw out, they tend to slip down the news agenda as other things happen, I think. And it's really important that people like yourself keep bringing that story and repeating the story and keeping it at the front of everyone's mind, that all these amazing people locally and obviously in Ukraine are still fighting on.
Yeah, and it's a good story. It's a story where politics and stuff didn't really get in the way. So people came together of all, councillors got involved, the MP got involved, everybody got involved. It wasn't about politics. It was about trying to make a difference with people. And at the beginning, they took over a few warehouses that I think the council had sorted for them, and I mean there were hundreds of people involved, packing up aid and giving stuff. It was an amazing time.
The church is still doing it, so we've had
we've
had an ambulance here on site this week.
Yeah,
they've been loading up with aid, and then Laura's been organising that to be driven.
I mean, Laura's been doing it since the beginning. She's one of the faces on the painting. So she's done some amazing work. I think she's found her family. Laura, I think she's almost been adopted completely by the Ukrainians now.
Right. So we're coming back to the exhibition. And what we're going to be doing here. So how much work have you got left to do, and what's the deadline? When are you hoping to get out to Ukraine with this exhibition? So we've got to raise funds to fund this trip to take the exhibition on tour. Yeah. So what are the dates we've got to achieve this by, and what are you going to be doing?
Well, I have some people at the moment, some Ukrainians helping me with venues in Ukraine.
Okay.
Obviously, I can't. That can't happen until I know that I've got the funds to go. I'm trying to crowdfund, which you guys are helping me with. I am trying for Arts Council money and things like that, but it's very, very difficult to get grant funding these days. So essentially, I'm going to spend a month. I think that will be enough. I paint quite quickly, so it should be enough. 2/3 of it is finished, really, or more or less finished already. The idea is to start a conversation between Gloucester and Ukraine. So I want people who are involved in it, but also anybody who's interested to come along. You've seen what I do. There's lots of writing over what I do. It's a big mess of words and images. I want people to help me. So I want people to write things.
So people can get involved.
Messages.
And they can
get involved.
They can contribute to the art.
Exactly.
Pick up a brush.
Yeah.
Pen,
pick up a brush. Pick up a pen.
themselves.
Do whatever they want on it.
And what are we going to be looking for people to do? Them to send messages out to the Ukraine from Gloucester.
Yeah, exactly. So, or just pass comment on what their feelings about what's happened so far. So, I want it to go, and so that people there know that we care. Sort of, it's as simple as that, really. That there are people that care. I think I read this morning about the UK is it's probably Ukraine's biggest. There's more support here for Ukraine than probably anywhere else, and I don't know why that is. I don't know why the UK has taken it on themselves, but I think even after all this time,
the UK's never liked to bully.
No, it's as simple as that. Yeah, maybe it's as simple as that. But we have taken it to our hearts. And again, I've met lots of people living here, lots of Ukrainians living here who are now really good friends, and what you hear time and time again is all that matters to them is that somebody does care, that they do think that somebody, they don't expect you to do anything. They just want you to care. They want you to keep the conversation going, as you said earlier, Henry. They just want that to keep going, because otherwise people forget, and people do forget quite quickly. It's not,
and they are literally on the front line.
They are
on their own.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It must mean a lot to
yeah,
them.
I think it does.
That they're in people's thoughts and actions ultimately.
Yeah,
and you're taking the action, and you're going out there.
Yeah, I mean, again, I did for a long time. I wasn't sure about it, and I thought, why am I going? What am I doing? I'm just in the way. I felt that most of the time I went. I think, what's my purpose and everything else. But time and time again, whether they're just being nice, but I do think genuinely the feedback I've had is that it doesn't matter. You don't have to go and fight. You don't have to go and do aid. You're trying to engage with the conflict. You're trying to tell our story. You're trying to tell us that people care about us, and so that's as important as anything. And
your gift as an artist enables you to really deliver on that.
Yeah, exactly. And again, there are lots of people taking aid. There are lots of people. I've driven vehicles and things like that, but there are people who do that better than me. There are people who paint better than me, but at least that's what I do. That's my part of it, and I think I've got to the point now where it's got to be, because for a long time I didn't think I could finish it. I didn't think I could do it, and by hook or by crook, I'm not saying I'm 60, but I'm not ready for the grave yet. But I want this to be. I've got to finish it, and I've got to take it to Ukraine. I've self-funded it so far. It's cost a lot of money to get to the point that it has. I don't like asking for money, but I can't take it any further without asking. Trying to raise some more funds to
achieve that, we're going to be having live exhibition here at the Shirt Factory. We get up from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday.
I think it's
Monday through Saturday, all the way.
Monday through. I think it's 5-6 days a week from most of the time. If anybody, I'll start putting it up on social media and everything. But people can contact me if they. I'm hoping to invite as many people along as I can.
We'll join along with that. We'll put that onto our platforms. The Shirt Factory's platform, and get everybody in the city to get behind that,
and hopefully
get
they
people
will
here.
Yeah.
So what we've got to do is we've got to set up a means of donation
to
fund that. So we'll organise that with a tap facility. So anybody coming to the exhibition can contribute to the pot of taking this on tour and getting their message, our message through you out to people who really need it.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
if they can't, give what they can, and if you can't afford to give, just pop down and
exactly.
support you by just being there.
Something, yeah,
write something on
the,
write something that
just write Slava
nothing.
Ukraine on the painting. It's fine. Do whatever you want to, within reason. Do whatever you want to, but so yeah, just get involved, and I think if the more people that get involved, the more chance there is of it working. I'm so grateful for. I didn't think this was going to happen when I first met you, Tom. I got invited to James Garrett had said to meet you because you're over here, blah blah blah. Didn't think anything was going to come off it, and like blowing smoke up your asses, you've been brilliant, and I can't thank you enough for giving me a chance to finish it.
We're really we feel very honoured to be connected and help you to deliver this and want to play a part in that.
Yeah.
So we've got the exhibition live here.
Yeah.
I think we've got events through on the Thursday evenings through
Yes.
August.
Yeah.
We're going to open a bit later and allow people to come have a few drinks and a few nibbles on. So that should be a bunch of fun as well to get involved and raise the spirits. Cause
exactly.
It's quite a difficult thing for emotions.
It is, yeah.
And we want people to have a smile on their face.
Yeah, of course we do. Yeah, and again, it's some of it is quite difficult. Two of the people who I've painted have died since I've painted them. One guy who I only met a couple of times, who was a drone operator, lost his legs. It is a very emotional. It is a very emotional picture painting for me, but it doesn't mean it has to be sad.
Well, they're fighting for the good times,
They
aren't
are.
they?
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point in fighting?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Again, there's a guy who, in his 50s, English guy from Gloucester, who suddenly decided he was going to go and fight. Had never fought before, had no military experience. About 6 months ago now, went over basic training onto the front lines. He's in hospital at the moment because he's had shrapnel wounds all up his one side. But again, those are the kind of stories that you think, what makes somebody want to do that? Why do you want to do that from thousands of miles away? You're not Ukrainian, you've got no Ukrainian family, you've got no links, but what makes you want to go and risk your life at that time of life, thousands of miles from home? It fascinates me, the reasons why people want to do it. There's another example, a girl, Brogan, who I've met right from the beginning. Young, in her 20s, worked in Aldi from Dundee, saw it on the news and just thought, right, I'm going to pack my job and I'm going. And she's been there ever since. 5 years. She's been working 90% of the time without any money at all, living in the back of the van, in back of the vans that she's been, working out of. What makes somebody want to do that? It's fascinating.
So how many sites are you hoping to tour with the exhibition around when you take it out there?
3, hopefully. So Kyiv, obviously, Kharkiv, which is very dear to me. I've met a lot of people in Kharkiv. It's a place it's an odd place, but a place that sort of has captured something in me, I think.
How close is that to the border?
I think it's about 20 miles from Russia. So it's the one of the closest. It's not, and I have been to the border a couple of times with Rob, actually, Chris Parr's dad. That we met some soldiers who took us right up to the border, and then there started to be some shelling, so I ran very quickly back again. Kharkiv is very close, and then Odesa, which again is right down the other side. other side of the country, and I think the reason for Odesa is, I think, simply is it's sort of a place that I've always wanted to go.
Is that because of the Odesa pub on the A38?
Maybe, I don't know. It's a fascinating place with an amazing history, and it just seemed to be appropriate to go there as well. And the lady, Irina, who is the driving force behind the camouflage nets, she is from Odesa, and I'd like to go because of her.
Okay.
She hasn't been back for a long time, so it would be.
And the exhibition itself is going to evolve out there, so.
Well, I'm hoping
Ukrainian people are going to be able to send messages back to Gloucester.
Exactly. Okay. That's the idea. Is that again, when we set up, they can do exactly the same as people here. Send messages back to Gloucester and write their experiences.
And we're hopeful that there's another opportunity to see that exhibition in the run up to Christmas back here in Gloucester.
Yeah,
aren't we?
yeah.
And
definitely.
we're hopeful that the cathedral are going to.
I mean, it would be lovely if I've not spoke to anybody about it yet, but that would be. I mean, that seems the appropriate place for it to go. Really, there's nowhere really else in Gloucester that it has that prestige that I think it should go there. Definitely.
Okay. Well, through the connections that we've established here, we'll reach out to the people who can. Hopefully get those permissions, and maybe that can happen. That'd be great.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would be amazing.
Wow. Well,
best of luck with it all. Fantastic.
You.
We can't wait to host you in August. That's the next big thing, isn't it? Can't wait to.
Well, you don't know. I could be a bit of a diva, so.
I hope you are. I'll be pretty shattered if you're not.
No, it's going to be good. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am.
So let's get.
I don't normally have much of a structure being an artist. I normally just do whatever I want to at whatever time I want to. So I'm a little bit nervous about doing.
You're going to need a key, aren't you? Basically,
I don't know what I'm going to. I'm the structure of a day. Like when you said the times, as soon as I hear you go 11 till 4, it's like, oh no. What do you mean? I've got to be here from 11 till 4.
We haven't told you the dress code yet. You need a briefcase.
Oh, right, okay. But no, I'm really looking forward to spending that amount of time here. It'd be brilliant. And you've got a fantastic spot for me as well. I couldn't be. Yeah, I'm not sure I could find a better spot to do it.
It's going to be good. We've got to get. We've got to get all the timber up and get a bit of a structure for and work out a way that you can then collapse it. Put it in a van.
Yeah.
So mobile easels.
Exactly. Yeah, because I've not really thought about. That's the other thing. I suppose I don't think about the logistics of it either. So it would be really nice with people of your experience that maybe might be able to come up with a solution of how the hell I can put it up and take it down with relative ease, and maybe even on my own. That's.
I'm sure it won't be on your own. You'll have a lot of help.
Not.
You'll have a lot of help. Everyone would want to be involved and get behind you on this. So we're going to look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you.